Hi guys, welcome to my channel and I am Abidul Khan Obi. You are watching Speaking of the Best History. So let's get started.
To conceal from their governments the real purpose of the action of the majority. Meanwhile, the people of the Confederacy plainly saw that the ideas and interests of the administration were to gain by war the empire that would enable it to trample on the Constitution which it professed to defend and maintain. It was by the slow and barely visible approaches of the serpent seeking its prey that the aggressions and usurpations of the United States government moved on to the crimes against the law of the Union, the usages of war among civilized nations, the dictates of humanity, and the requirements of justice, which have been recited. The performance of this task has been painful, but persistent and widespread misrepresentation of the cause and conduct of the South required the exposure of her slanderer. To unmask the hypocrisy of claiming devotion to the Constitution, while violating its letter and spirit for a purpose palpably hostile to it, was needful for the defense of the South. In the future progress of this work, it will be seen how often we have been charged with the very offenses committed by our enemy, offenses of which the South was entirely innocent, and of which a chivalrous people would be incapable. There was in this the old trick of the fugitive thief who cries, "Stop, thief," as he runs. In his message to Congress 1 year later, on December 8, 1863, the President of the United States thus boasts of his proclamation, quote, "The preliminary Emancipation Proclamation, issued in September, was running its assigned period to the beginning of the new year. A month later, the final proclamation came, including the announcement that colored men of suitable condition would be received into the war service. The policy of emancipation and of employing black soldiers gave to the future a new aspect, about which hope and fear and doubt contended in uncertain conflict. According to our political system, as a matter of civil administration, the general government had no lawful power to effect emancipation in any state, and for a long time it had been hoped that the rebellion could be suppressed without resorting to it as a military measure. Of those who were slaves at the beginning of the rebellion, full 100,000 are now in the United States military service, about one half of which number actually bear arms in the ranks, thus giving the double advantage of taking so much labor from the insurgent cause and supplying the places which otherwise must be filled with so many white men. So far as tested, it is difficult to say they are not as good soldiers as any." End quote. Let the reader pause for a moment and look calmly at the facts presented in this statement. The forefathers of these Negro soldiers were gathered from the torrid plains and malarial swamps of inhospitable Africa. Generally, they were born the slaves of barbarian masters, untaught in all the useful arts and occupations, reared in heathen darkness,